people that I think that I just go around London chopping off the feet of every pigeon that I see. And they'd be right, I do that. I do that every weekend.
Every weekend you go on a pigeon
every
hunt.
Weekend. All those pigeons with like 1 foot, I hear the stroke all the time.
Yeah.
All those pigeons, that's you, innit?
Yeah,
that's you.
Yeah,
that's me.
That's me.
That's me.
My name is Georgie Rogers, and with a team of female filmmakers, I'm hitting the road to track down trailblazers in their field and celebrate their stories. Meet the Superwomen. I've come to Hatton Garden, London's famous jewellery district, to meet with designer Tessa Metcalfe at her Clerkenwell boutique.
Hello.
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Born and bred in Hackney, her unique pigeon claw designs find beauty in the gutter and have put her at the forefront of the UK's next generation of jewellery designers.
Can you close the door? Tessa Metcalfe HQ.
Thank you so much for letting us into your, well, the kind of the HQ for Tessa Metcalfe.
Workshop.
Yeah, the workshop where you squirrel away doing all of these amazing pieces.
Thank you.
Why do you love pigeons so much?
I think as a kid, you can get quite obsessed with animals and like fairy tales and stuff like that. And there's not much wildlife if you grow up in a city. But there are pigeons.
Yeah. So that was kind of the first seed of the idea for the whole brand, which is obviously based around.
I made my first piece of jewellery when I was at uni and did like a little extension studies course, and I had a pigeon's foot that I'd dried out. So I took it with me and cast it and made a metal replica, and I got really into it from then.
Yeah. And did you kind of start thinking, I'm going to make jewellery that I'd want to wear, or was it more like, I want to start something?
I just made, I don't even think it was jewellery, I just sort of like cast the pigeon's foot and that was cool. Yeah. And then I wanted to make it hold something, so I bought these little glass, like fake diamond things, like glass things, but they're just like wedding table decorations. And then I made the claw like hold one of these. And then I was like, oh, I could put it on a chain. So then I just wore it for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And then I just got really into it. But I didn't make anything, I never made anything intending to sell it at the beginning. I was surprised when people wanted to buy things.
Yeah. And at what point was that?
It was just a random person who liked what I was doing, who bought a necklace that I made that was like £160. And at the time that was like,
Yeah.
so much money. And I had loads of stuff that was really cheap and it was like the most expensive piece, and he just bought that and it was the first thing I ever sold.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's insane.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
This is something I could do.
And then
properly.
I carried on working in a bar.
Yeah.
For like ages.
And were you just making a few things on the side at that point?
I had an Etsy shop.
Yeah.
And I was constantly working on my website, but then I'd go and work in a bar at night, and then I tried to do 2 jobs, but one of them was in my bedroom.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went a bit crazy. It's
Well, like-
fine. I did that for years.
Yeah.
Years.
But certainly, you know, when it comes down to starting your own business, which is essentially what this is, like a lot of hard work and dedication goes into that. Like it takes a huge amount of you, doesn't it? Of hours and of time and of passion and moments where you probably go, oh my God, like how do I get this to the next stage? Like, can you talk a little bit about that and how much it required of you, I guess, in those first early stages?
I worked the bare minimum in a bar, so I had enough money to pay my rent. And then I made a workshop in a spare room in my house, which was pretty small.
Yeah.
And I worked all the time.
Yeah.
So I did like, you know, a 6-hour shift in the pub, and then I'd either come home and work into the night, or I'd wake up early and work, and then go to the pub again and work. And I went crazy.
Yeah.
All of my relationships suffered for it.
What would you say have been the biggest challenges then? Obviously there was that time where you kind of sent yourself slightly round the bend, working all hours of the day.
Like, I don't know what you can say the biggest challenges are for like doing something like this. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because you don't think about it, you just do it.
Yeah.
I've never had a business plan. I've never worked out a 5-year plan or like had a vision for where this was going ever, and I still don't. You just make a decision that's the best decision at the time.
Yeah.
And then you end up somewhere.
That's interesting that you've never like sat down with anyone at any point and like.
No.
And have you ever like got investment or anything either?
No.
That's amazing.
Everything that I've made, I reinvest in the business.
Yeah.
And I'd never take, if you're starting a business, I mean, personally, I would never take financial investment from anywhere. Maybe a small loan, preferably off someone you know.
Yeah.
But I would never sell any portion of my business.
Of the business, yeah. Like, have you experienced any, like, bullshit, basically?
I have never experienced any bullshit any time in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Of course. You just get a backlash for putting something on Instagram. I think anyone does. But yeah, like loads of bullshit. There's people that I think that I just go around London chopping off the feet of every pigeon that I see. And they'd be right, I do that. I do that every weekend.
Every weekend you go on a pigeon hunt.
Weekend. All those pigeons with like 1 foot,
Yeah.
I hear the stroke all the time.
Yeah.
All those pigeons, like, that's you in it, that's you, yeah, that's me.
That's me.
That's me.
And how do you deal with it? Do you just have quite a tough skin?
I think it makes you work, well, for me it makes me work harder, but I don't know, I think coping with stuff is just always a challenge. But if you know you're right and you believe in what you do, then you don't really take on board what other people say most of the time. And just try and do that.
Who would you say are your biggest inspirations?
Is it really bad if I just said don't really have any?
No, that's okay.
There's people that I admire that are doing stuff, but not like what I'm doing. And I don't look at people that do. I don't really look at contemporary jewellery. I really like antique jewellery. Antique jewellery's my only jewellery inspiration is antique jewellery. The way they make shit is so good.
Yeah.
And like the V&A jewellery exhibition, like that's amazing.
Yeah.
I go there probably like once, twice a year.
Yeah.
I mean, I made this necklace, but the rest of this is antique. This is sick.
Yeah, that's amazing. Do you sleep in all of it?
No, you mental.
Gonna say.
People ask that all the time. Like, I'd have to be such a skank to like.
I first discovered Tessa's work 5 years ago when friends bought me one of her pigeon claw rings and fast became, like many others, a full magpie to her mesmerising creations. As her business evolved and grew, then came the demand for bespoke pieces.
And what I've seen more recently as well is that you're doing quite a lot of commissions with diamonds and like wedding rings and engagement rings.
Yeah, I do loads.
But is that so? Is that when someone's like, "Hey, I've got Grandma Jones' ring."
I love that. I love that. I can show you some of
do
this.
something
no,
amazing
it's like
with
this
it.
is a family heirloom. My husband gave it to me. This is someone in particular.
Yeah.
My husband gave it to me. It's like a family heirloom, but I just really don't like it. So can you just do something?
Can you
and
make
he's like,
it?
yes, darling, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So much fun.
So much fun.
Popping all the stones out, some like well expensive, like grandmas, whatever.
Yeah.
So good.
Some amazing emerald.
Yeah. Melting down a Tiffany ring, that was sick.
Yeah.
Popping all the
Fuck the
diamonds out.
man.
Like, I'm not going to say how much it was, an expensive Tiffany ring, popping all the diamonds down and then melting it down, that was wicked.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was really fun.
So those are probably like definite highlights. Can you pinpoint any other highlights of the journey, I guess, that is Tessa Metcalfe?
Just my shop, just being here, like just looking around, just being like, yeah, it's my little shop. That's really nice. Getting my own shop, and I'd say that was a highlight, but it was so much work and like so stressful that you kind of sometimes forget to enjoy stuff until like afterwards.
And what advice would you have for anyone that wants to start a business, start a jewellery line?
If you want to start any business on your own, get an Instagram.
Yeah.
Over the past decade, particularly on Instagram, social media has become a digital shop window and marketplace for independent brands to showcase and trade their products. It was a vital tool. As word of mouth spread, so did her visibility online, attracting a devoted following of customers.
The most amazing thing that's happened now is with social media is that it's leveled the playing field a bit. It used to be that you could never start a business or be seen doing anything unless you like had loads of money behind you and paid for advertising. But now, as long as you know, put yourself out there and just try and work hard, if your idea is good enough and if people like it, you can get seen, like on a large scale, which is really quite amazing. And I think that levelling of the playing field has laid the way for more good creative people to come up and just work really hard. And just, if you love what you do and you work hard, then you'll do it. But to be honest, if you need advice, you're probably doing it wrong.
And when you were working in the pub and working all the other hours of the day on making stuff, why didn't you just go, sod this, I could get a normal job, it's not worth it? What made you not do that?
I think I probably felt like, what I was doing with my pigeon's feet was the right thing to do, and everything else in my life was probably just a bit like the wrong thing to do. So if I was going to drop anything, it's not going to be that.
No,
I don't know.
It would have been
I didn't really make a choice. It was just like, that was just the right thing to do. I thought it was a really good idea.
Yeah.
I think that was it. I thought it was a good enough idea that I didn't care what anyone else thought. People weren't like, yeah, it's a really good idea. They were like, okay.
Yeah.
That was kind of the response.
Was it? And I guess, was it a bit of just a kind of gut instinct? You knew that...
I loved it.
Yeah.
I think I still think it's a good idea.
It is.
I don't have to defend it anymore.
No.
Like, I'm not the only person that thinks this now. But yeah.
Would you say you're quite naturally hardworking?
Not when I was younger.
Yeah.
I taught myself. I was lazy at school. Like, I don't think I went to a very good school. No one noticed if you worked hard, so I was just like, well, I'm not going to. I think I've always worked. I never had much money. I've worked since I was 15. So I always knew that I needed money, because otherwise I couldn't have anything. So I had a good work ethic because I wanted to have money just so that I could, like, pay rent.
And where do you see it go? I mean, you said you haven't even ever really written a business plan or anything. But
yeah, but I still got ideas, innit?
Yeah. Like, where would you like
I know
this
what I'm going to do next. Someone told me this the other day, but it's this idea where you don't, if you've got an idea about something that you're going to do, you don't talk to anyone about it until you've done it.
Yeah.
And I really strongly believe that. I think we all know people that just talk about what they're going to do.
And then they don't do it.
And then they don't do it.
Keep going. Keep making some beautiful things.
Make some more shit.
And
buy
then,
some more stones.
Yeah. And then make some more stuff.
Yeah.
Amazing to talk to you. Thank you.
Pleasure. Now should we look at some jewellery?
Yeah. Cool. Show me all the pretty things. Show me the goods.
So, that's an engagement ring.
That is absolutely incredible.
That's made from an antique piece. So the opal and those diamonds and this setting around here is off the original ring.
Yeah.
And then I made the rest of it, put the back plate on, replaced the diamond, repolished the stone. This stone I bought for myself. And then I showed it to this guy because we were talking about stones and we had the same taste in stones. And he fell in love with it and wanted to propose to his girlfriend with it. So I sold it to him.
It's pretty amazing. What's the stone?
It's aquamarine and it looks like a swimming pool.
It
and
does.
I just want to dive in it so bad.
Yeah. You have a tattoo that says sisterhood, don't you?
Yes.
And you have lots of lovely women working for you and with you. Is that just kind of how you like it? Is that conscious?
Yeah. I mean, your girls are just well important, and my best friend did that tattoo.
Yeah.
So, and it's all got the jewellery of all of my girlfriends on it, and then another girlfriend's nails. So it's like all of us together.
Yeah, in one.
But yeah, like obviously, I think as a woman, you all have to help each other, and you know, or just as a person. But women.
Yeah. Women are good.
Yeah.
Women can achieve.
Women get it.
In June, it will have been 5 years since Tessa opened her workshop, and due to such an overwhelming demand for bespoke pieces, she's recently been taking a break from that side of things to focus on her own creative direction, as Tessa Metcalfe and her pigeon team continue to bejewel people around the world.